Hello, gorgeous souls, and welcome to Club Prana practice number 4. If you are new here, welcome. You are so welcome to join us today for our breathwork practice. If you would like more breathwork, then you're welcome to join us in Club Prana. It is absolutely free to join. All I'm really doing is just creating this hub over on my website where you can access all of the different breaths that we have done so far, all of the breaths that we will be doing in the future over the course of this year. There are PDFs over there, and there's also a link to join us in the Instagram group chat if you'd like to come and chat all things breathwork. It's totally free, and you're welcome to join us there if you would like more breathwork. So as we have been doing this breathwork series, I began it at the very beginning of 2024. I started on the first day of the year, and then Club Prana began on the first new moon of January. But you can start anytime. You can start right now if you would like to join us for a year of breathwork practice. Then you're more than welcome to join and start today. Maybe you just want to pop in and out. Maybe you just want to do this breath practice today. It is all good. You can do whatever you want with these practices. So for those of you who have been joining in, our last 40 days, we worked with the fists of anger, which is a very powerful, very cleansing experience, and it's fantastic, and I hope that you had a great time with that. Let me know in the comments. But the breath that we're going to do for the next 40 days, or however long you would like to do it for, is called the Pranic Meditation. And I'm going to begin by just reading you a little bit from the teachings about what this breath can do. So this breath can help to maintain youthfulness of mind and body despite age. It brings health and healing ability. It fertilizes the brain so there is no depression. You may yawn or stretch, but keep on with the breathing. It eliminates fatigue, gives constant flow of energy. You'll become intuitive and universally sensitive. You will not get tired. So I really love these comments that you find in the Kundalini yogic teachings. You know, you can take what resonates and leave the rest. And I will always, that's something that I will always say in all of the spiritual work that I do. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. Ultimately, when we do these breathwork practices or any practices from Kundalini yoga, there will be instructions in the teachings. There's often comments about what it will do for you, but ultimately you are going to have your own experience with each of these practices. And what it says in the book may not be what you experience personally, and that is like fine, and that's amazing, and that's the whole point. So this breath, the Pranic Meditation, this breath is, I have found it to be anyway, very calming. I've found it to really help me to feel more centered and grounded. And that is something that I think we all need right now. This is also a fantastic breath that really helps you to breathe deeply. So we did alternate nostril breathing. That was one of the breaths that we've done in Club Prana. And that was a long, slow, deep breath, but that was through each of the nostrils separately. This breath is really going to invite you to breathe deeply, to take in as much air as you can, to exhale completely out until you are completely empty, which can sometimes be something that feels a little bit uncomfortable. But if you can find 3 minutes, and we're just going to do a 3-minute practice today, if you can find 3 minutes every day to have an experience with your body where you breathe as deeply as you can and you take in as much air as you can and then you exhale everything out, this is a really powerful metaphor for life, right? And it's also very good for your body. It's very good for your nervous system, for your lungs, for your lung capacity. All of these things will, you'll get a positive experience in many, many ways from doing this breath series. Okay, so Pranic Meditation. We're going to sit in easy pose. Now, easy pose is this, essentially. We're sitting, I like to sit on a cushion. A cushion is very, very helpful, especially when you're doing breath work, because we want the chest, the lungs, the ribs to be very straight and to be very open. So if you don't have a cushion, you can sometimes find that you're kind of not able to sit up as straight. It can be a little bit more challenging to get a really straight spine. So sitting on a cushion is really helpful. You can also sit in rock pose for this, and rock pose is just on your knees like so. And that can also give you a bit more expansion in the ribs and the lungs, depending on the shape of your body and how your spine is, how your back is, all of these things. You can also sit on a chair if that's more accessible for you. So we sit in easy pose, the easy posture, whatever that is for you. I like to sit in the half lotus with one foot coming up, but you can sit in a regular cross-legged position, whatever works for you. So we're sitting in easy pose, and the spine is very straight. This is so important in breath work. As soon as we start hunching, we just don't have a positive experience with our breath. We breathe more shallowly. We're just not able to really get that breath moving through the body. We're not able to get the prana that we want to be moving through us. So sitting up nice and tall, nice and straight. And then we make fists with the hands. And then we put the index fingers up like so. So we just have these pointed fingers like this, and the thumbs are just on the outside. And then what we're going to do is put the left down and the right over the top. And then the right comes over to touch, so that the middle section of the fingers are touching. So if you look at your hands, you've got those three sections of your fingers. We want the middle section to be touching. So the right is on top of the left, and that's what it looks like. That's the mudra, right over left. And then we just hold this around the diaphragm level. So just kind of, it feels pretty comfortable. It's just kind of here. And then we work with the breath. And what we're going to do here is inhale slowly for 15 seconds. And then we're going to exhale slowly for 15 seconds. And as we exhale, we're going to exhale through a puckered lips. So we're going to inhale through the nose for 15 seconds. And then we're going to exhale for 15 seconds through an O mouth breath, like so. So let's talk about how to breathe for 15 seconds. If 15 seconds is too much for you, where you're at on your breathwork journey, and to be completely transparent with you, sometimes 15 seconds is too much for me, and I have to slow it down. I found it really depends on the day. Some days I'm able to inhale for 15 seconds and exhale for 15 seconds, and it feels achievable and it feels like I can do it. On other days, I have to slow it down. It really depends on how tired I am, what else is going on, what's happening with my thoughts. Is my mind very busy? Am I feeling anxious? There's so many different things that can affect your ability to inhale for a very long period of time and exhale for a long time as well. So I invite you, if you feel that 15 seconds is just like, what, that's way too much, then start with 5 seconds. Inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds. And then maybe you do that a few times and you're like, oh, actually, that's really easy. So you can inhale for 6 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. And then you work your way up from there. So some tips and tricks for how to inhale very deeply and exhale totally out to the bottom. Go slowly. It can be a little bit tempting when you're inhaling for 15 seconds. Sometimes what we do is we inhale a lot of air straight away. And then for those last few seconds, we're like really kind of like holding the breath up here, you know, trying to get more and more and more. We want to really slow it down. And we also want to feel that we are filling up from the belly. So we don't want that kind of breath where we're like coming into the chest and filling up from the chest. We want to really feel like we're filling up like a vase or a glass, that we're filling up with air from the bottom and then slowly coming up to the top. If you feel yourself gasping at any point, then the suggestion is to slow it down, to slow down the breath, but also, instead of aiming for 15 seconds, go to a much lower number to help you to not feel like you're gasping for air at any point. The point of this meditation isn't to make you feel like, oh my gosh, I've got no air, I'm not going to survive this, I'm going to run out of air or whatever. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to have a really beautiful experience with the breath. So take your time, breathe in, inhale very, very slowly from the belly. Feel that it's coming into the belly first, and then you're coming into the lungs, into the ribs, and coming up to the top. And then when we exhale, we do the same thing, and we feel that we are exhaling from the chest first, exhaling down into the belly. And as you get to those last few seconds, it can feel challenging. So there is sometimes this temptation of like, oh my gosh, I have to breathe right now. And if you do, then, sometimes your body just does it. Sometimes your body will just, oh, okay, suddenly I'm inhaling again. And that's fine. It's a process, and we're learning how to do it, and we're figuring it out. But when you get to those last few seconds, something that can really help is that you pull in to the navel point and you squeeze out that last bit of air by just kind of pulling in the navel and exhaling right to the very bottom of your capacity to do so. So those are a few tips. Please go at your own pace. It says in the teachings to do this for 11 minutes maximum. We're going to do it for 3 minutes today together. When you're doing your practice at home, you can go as long as you like. I've been doing 5 minutes in my personal practice. You can go up to 11 minutes, but don't do more than 11 minutes. Like, no one needs to do more than 11 minutes of this, even very, very advanced practitioners. 3 minutes is beautiful. If you can do 3 minutes of this every day for 40 days, then, amazing. So there is no specification in the teachings for the eye gaze. And this sometimes happens with the Kundalini yogic teachings. There's not always a specification of what you're supposed to do with the eyes. Personally, my take on this is whenever we get a teaching where nothing's specified, I just close my eyes and I just set my inner gaze at my third eye point. So the eyes are closed, but you're focusing on the third eye point as if you're mentally sort of looking into the third eye. So that's it. So all we're doing is this inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And we want to exhale through the mouth very slowly. So we're not kind of doing a breath that's like out through the mouth. We're just having this experience where we're breathing very, very slowly. Just a little bit of air at a time. The teachings say that you should be able to feel the breath on your fingers. So that's kind of something to aim for. But if you don't quite feel that, especially the first time or the first few times, then that's okay. That's what we're aiming for, just this kind of this cool air to be able to feel it on the fingers. Okay, so we're going to practice, and I'm setting us up for 3 minutes. So we're coming into the mudra, the fingers pointed, and then the right goes on top of the left at the middle point of the fingers, like so, and that's at the diaphragm level. So the eyes are closed, and we begin. And we deeply inhale for 15 seconds, or as long as you can. And then we exhale very, very slowly through that O mouth breath. And just continue in your own time, at your own pace. We're nearly there, just less than a minute to go. And take a deep inhale. And bend the fingers over and squeeze, lock them together and squeeze and bring them over the top of the head. And suspend the breath. And exhale and bring the hands down onto the knees. And just take a moment here to notice how you feel. And just meditate here for a few moments. This is an important part of the process. Whenever we do any breath work, just taking a few moments at the end to just check in, to notice how we feel, to see what's changed, what's shifted. It's a very important part of the experience. And take a deep inhale and exhale. So that's it. That's our practice for the next 40 days. If you would like to join for 40 days, if you are not interested in continuing for 40 days, that's absolutely fine. Hopefully you had a beautiful experience here with this practice for the 3 minutes that you've done today. If you have questions about this practice or about anything that's coming up for you on your breathwork journey, please just ask in the comments. Please come and join us in Club Prana. It's totally free. It's just a bunch of resources to help you on your breathwork practice, plus access to the super fun Instagram group chat if you'd like to come and hang with us there. All of the links will be below on how you can do that. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love on your breathwork journey. And I will see you again in another 40 days. Lots of love.